Peace and blessings, Soul Tribe. Welcome back to the channel, new and returning overseas in America. So in this video, I want to talk about destroying witchcraft, okay? Again, as I've stated in previous videos, that the content on the channel is going to be shifting, right? My goal and my intention is to empower you with the tools and information that you need for your wellness and to continue on your journey, right? I come to give you, to equip you, to empower you. You're already equipped, but I'm here to help you to tap into the tools that God has placed inside of you to overcome certain things, to conquer certain things. Because what you have to understand is that each and every one of you, under the sound of my voice, you are more than a conqueror. Okay? The collective messages will not stop. I'm just going to probably post one weekly collective message, whatever is most pressing that the Holy Spirit wants the people of God to hear. God is shifting me, and as He shifts me, the channel is shifting. And so I hope y'all are here for it. You know what I'm saying? It's all with pure and good intent. I'm all about the wellness of the community and the wellness of the collective. When one of us heals, all of us heal, right? We're all connected. And so, yeah. So I want to talk in this video again about destroying witchcraft. All right. And I want to talk from a very practical standpoint because I feel like spirituality has become a huge trend. It is very trendy on social media. And so with this trend and new age spirituality, people tend to get caught up on things that don't matter, right? Like return to senders and cord cuttings and this ritual, that ritual, etc., etc. There's nothing wrong with rituals. Sometimes rituals are needed, but rituals are not needed every day. Rituals are not needed every week. When you come to realize that you are you, and because of the anointing that dwells inside of you, because God has anointed and gifted each and every one of us. Okay? All of us have the gift of discernment. Some of us just aren't tapped into that as well as others, right? I'm here to help you connect more with self, lean more into self, okay? Because you should not be looking for the answers outside of yourself. I do understand that, again, not everyone is tapped in to their discernment. Not everyone knows the way. And so it is okay, yes, to have a spiritual guide, a mentor, someone that you turn to for guidance. That is absolutely fine. Okay. It is necessary. I advocate for that. I urge that. Okay. It doesn't have to be me, but it needs to be someone that you trust. You understand? However, as a spiritual mentor, my goal is to help you get to the point to where you no longer need me or anyone else because you have learned how to hear spirit for yourself. You've learned how to trust your intuition. You've learned how to navigate on your journey. Does that make sense? I think all too often, a lot of times I tell people, when I cross your path, I cross paths with you for a reason. And most of the time it is not permanent, right? I come along to help you get through whatever juncture you're at, and to give you the tools that you need for the next and that's it. And I don't know why that's like that, but it's like that most of the time. And so my goal is to empower you for your journey. You should be able to, whatever the method is, hear, tap into, and trust your own intuition, because you have the answers inside of you. Everything that you are looking for outside of yourself, you hold within yourself. You just have to go within to access that. Okay, so back to the topic of this video, right? How to defeat witchcraft. And again, this is going to be very practical advice, because I'm not here for the trends, right? I'm here for real spirituality, right? Like, spiritual warfare is not something that I chose. I didn't choose this. This chose me. I tried to run from it. I tried to run from my call. I tried. I couldn't run from it. I operate in warfare and deliverance, helping people to overcome and break out of warfare, assisting people out of situations, and helping people with wellness, right? And so I'm not really here for all of the trends. That's not what you're going to hear me talk about. Again, sometimes a ritual is necessary, but a lot of times it's really just practical, right? So I urge you, first and foremost, not to get caught up in the trend of spirituality, because spirituality is not a trend. Spirituality is very serious, and it can be dangerous, right? When you get out here and you're doing things and kind of don't know what you're doing, or playing with it, and don't understand the seriousness of it, it can be very dangerous. Okay. So I want to talk about fundamentally, like, what witchcraft is a manipulation, period, point blank. I'm not here to talk about whether I agree with it or not, or what's right and what's wrong, because I am not judge nor jury, right? Again, the goal is to just equip you in defeating it, right? Those of you who fall under the evil attacks of others, because I understand that some people, they practice what they call white magic or whatever. They do things with pure intention. Cool. I'm not knocking it. Like, I'm not judge or juror. But when it comes to evil intentions of others and people attacking you, okay, this is what I'm talking about here. All right. So at its most basic, witchcraft is manipulation. The manipulation of energy, the manipulation of a person's free will, bending energy to get your desired results, etc., etc., etc. All right. A lot of people do dark magic, black magic, baneful magic, whatever you want to call that, for different reasons. I'm not here to debate. I don't care. Okay. But the first step in defeating witchcraft is to open your mouth. Okay. And I'm speaking to you guys not only from the perspective of a practitioner, but from the perspective of someone who's had to go through it. Okay. I know what it takes to defeat it, because I have defeated it plenty of times. All right. Open your mouth. There's power in your tongue. Many of you don't know that, right? And sometimes you can do 20 freaking rituals and still be dealing with the witchcraft, because you're so focused on things external of yourself that you're not focused on your own inner will, your own inner power, your ashe, or the ashe of your ancestors that flows through your veins. And so you have the power to speak a thing. You have the power with your mouth to create or destroy. Okay? But it's a matter of, do you believe in you? Do you have faith in you? Okay? So many times, right, we get caught up on, I gotta light a candle for this purpose, when all you really have to do is speak a thing with your mouth. And so I want to dive into this, okay? And I'm going to try to keep it brief. I don't want to be before you guys long. One, for me, I had to do a heart check, okay? Because accountability. Have I wronged people in my life? Absolutely. I'm not perfect. I've made mistakes. I've done wrong. And maybe I've crossed someone or pissed someone off, like whatever that looks like, right? I had to take accountability for some of my own actions. Okay? Because while I cannot control what another person does, I can control what I do. And I can take ownership for the wrongs that I have committed. And so doing that was one of my first steps. Owning my part in things. A lot of times we do things in life and we think someone is crossing us up, but it is our own actions that has, created negative karma for us, right? And it comes back. Whatever you put out, you get back. Okay? So that's the first thing. But the second thing takes me back to using your mouth. You have to speak aloud. You have to speak to that thing, man. And you got to speak to it with your chest. When you pray, you have to pray with your chest, acknowledging your wrongdoings, okay? And asking, whether it's God, your ancestors, your spirit team, the universe, whatever you resonate with. I ain't here to debate that either. Whatever you resonate with, right? Seeking forgiveness and seeking the forgiveness of anyone who you may have wronged. Okay? Whatever that looks like for you. But you have to first right any of your wrongs to correct your karma. Okay? And then, like I said, speaking to it out loud and speaking with your chest. You absolutely have within you the power to come against, to cancel out, and to destroy all witchcraft. But the third thing is knowing. It's your mindset, right? It's knowing that because you've spoken and because you believe it and because you've prayed it and because you've meditated on it, right? That it is done. Seriously. And I'm going to tell you, it doesn't just happen one time, right? It's going to take more than one day. It's going to take more than 3 days. It's going to take more than 5 days. But if you are consistent in your prayers, if you are consistent in your fasting, if you are consistent in your faith, I promise you, you will see results. Okay? For me, again, acknowledging any of my own wrongdoing, taking accountability, and making it right, whatever that looks like. That doesn't always look like going to the person and saying, hey, because sometimes you don't have access to the person. Sometimes they got you blocked, whatever the case may be. But to anyone that I have wronged, like, may they forgive me. Confessing with your mouth, your wrongs, and taking ownership for your wrongs. That was the first step for me. I had to be brutally honest with myself about some things. It wasn't always everybody else. Sometimes it was me. Okay. But the times that it was other people waging warfare against me, right? Unprovoked, because some people, sometimes it was done unprovoked just because people didn't like me for whatever reason. They don't like your light. They don't want you to shine. They want to kill you before you can step into your purpose, right? They want to kill the dream. I'm sorry. I don't mean kill you like unalive you. They want to kill the dream inside of you. They want to dim the light inside of you before you step into yourself, before you step into your purpose, right? They want to kill it. And so being brutally honest with myself, owning my mistakes, righting my wrongs, forgiving myself. Self-forgiveness was a big one. And then speaking to whatever the mountain was in front of me, whatever that demon, that entity, that energy, whatever that was, calling that thing by name and speaking to it with authority, because you have authority. You have to understand this, okay? You have authority. Replacing any negative ways of thinking, like negative intrusive thoughts, with a positive thought. You have to be intentional about this, right? When the enemy tells you one thing about you, you give a rebuttal. Use a liar. I'm fearfully and wonderfully made. I am the head and not the tail. I am above and not beneath. I am the lender and not the borrower. My cup runneth over. Everything I touch turns to gold because the work of my hands are blessed. And so on and so forth. And you do this consistently and continually. Again, prayer, fasting, speaking to that thing. And it will have to flee. Now, I want you to understand, am I saying that it never takes a ritual? That's not what I'm saying. As I said, there are times when rituals are warranted, right? There will be times when it is appropriate to do a ritual. But I feel like all too often here lately, people are too dependent on things and tools and people external of themselves, and they are not depending on their own self, their own power, right? Their own anointing, understanding that, like, I don't need a tool. I am the tool, literally, right? When you come to know who you are and whose you are, it gets a little harder for the enemy to come at you and attack you, right? The enemy attacks you when you don't know self, when you don't know who you are, when you haven't fully tapped into you. But I'm telling you guys, going from practitioner to practitioner, spending money. I get a lot of people who come for like repeat work, and that's okay. But I get some who every week they want the same thing done. And it's like, that is so not necessary. And I'm not going to take your money, right? Because it's not necessary. You don't need this done every week. If we just did this last month, I promise you, you don't need it done again this month. Right? Sometimes protection doesn't look like a candle. Sometimes it just looks like interceding, prayer, fasting, spiritual hygiene, disconnecting for a little bit. I'm so serious. I've talked about the return to senders. Y'all know how I feel about that. So I don't even have to go back into that. You already know. But at its most basic, this is how you destroy witchcraft. And understand that when you are destroying a thing, you must pluck it up from the root. So you have to get to the root of the issue. And you have to make a conscious decision to just keep moving, to not let it stop you. There has to be a transformation that takes place in your mental, in your mindset. You have to change the way you think about things and change the way you see things, really, in order to overcome witchcraft. And can it be overcome? Absolutely. And again, I want to stress, because I know it's going to be somebody that's going to try to misconstrue or twist my words. I am not saying that a ritual is never necessary. There are times when a ritual is necessary, but I feel like a lot of people in 2024, because spirituality is a trend, they get real trendy with their warfare and with their protection spells and their cord cuttings and their return to sender. That's all a trend. It just don't take all of that all the time. Sometimes all it takes is a good, sincere prayer, and for you to speak with authority, for you to change the way you think about a situation, and for you to get up and get moving. Now, I know a lot of people not going to agree with this, and that's okay. And I know that some other people are going to be pissed, and that's okay too. I don't care about none of that. I only care about helping the people who really want to be helped, helping the people who are willing to do the work and help themselves if they are given the guidance necessary. That's the only thing I care about. I don't care who gets mad because they feel like I don't care. And understand, again, I'm not here to judge anyone, to each his own. I'm not judge or juror. We all have a practice that we practice, right? And I'm not here to say whether or not someone's practice is right or wrong. Like, do you, right? I just always urge you to check your heart posture. Check your heart posture. Okay? So, in a nutshell, to wrap this up, again, mindset is everything. The way you think about a thing, the way you see a thing. Your faith is everything. Your faith in yourself. Your faith in your higher power. Okay, understanding that you have authority. And so you speak to that thing. You call it by name and you destroy it with your mouth. And you wake up every day and show up in life and move as if you know that it is destroyed. That is literally what I had to do. Because here's the thing, a practitioner can do the ritual for you. But if you do not believe, and if you do not make a conscious decision to move forward with your life, right? Like, the practitioner is anointed and we do what we do, but we are not like David Copperfield magicians. Okay? I tell people this all the time. It takes work on your part, and it takes belief more than anything. But again, everything doesn't take 20 rituals. Sometimes 9 baths will do it. 9 baths, some prayer, and some fasting. And you speak into that thing. Okay? And so, destroying witchcraft, it starts in the mind. All right? I pray that this information blesses you. I don't know who needs it. I hope that it reaches you. Until next time, you guys be blessed. Good night.